Hey friends, I want to do a try a chapter book with my library haul. The cat's going to get involved for a second. If you saw my recent book stack library haul video, I had gotten a number of books from the library, kind of a specific theme, and Heather in the comments guessed it right away. And they're all books that have main characters that are, or maybe not main characters, they do have characters that are of a certain age. As a woman in my 40s, I sometimes get kind of tired of all the main characters being in their 20s and 30s. So I'm just kind of did some research to try and find some books that maybe had some characters, notable characters. They might be main characters, they might be supporting characters that are not in their 20s and 30s. They might be the mother, they might be, the neighbor, or they could be the main character, because you know what, we need our stories too. So I'm gonna do a try chapter with the library books that I got and pick maybe 2 or 3 maybe that could go on my pile of possibilities for June. Go really quick through the books, and I'll tell you more about them once I read it. Calling Invisible Women by Jean Ray. Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Rayborn. The Secrets of Heartwood Hall by Katie Lumsden. Grab them. Juliana Trollope's Mom and Dad. Ann Patchett's State of Wonder. The Woman I Was Before by Carrie Fisher. The Vibrant Years by Sonali Dev. The Writing Class by Jinsey Willett. Blanche Among the Talented 10th by Barbara Neely. So those are kind of the books that I'm going to read some chapters from. One chapter. Unless it's really short chapter, then I might read 2 and see what I'm interested in. Okay, I've read the first chapter or 2, just depending on how long they were, of 4 books so far. So we have Blanche Among the Talented 10th by Barbara Neely. This is the second in the Blanche White series. Blanche is a Black domestic worker who usually works in the houses of rich white people. And in this book, she's going to meet up with her 2 kids who are spending the summer with a wealthy Black family that they know from their school. And the first chapter, really, Blanche is packing, talking to her friend who lives back in her hometown in North Carolina. They are in Boston and they're going to this summer resort area that's in Maine, off the coast of Maine. And so Blanche is packing, talking to her friend about where she's going, also about some of the people that they both know from their hometown in North Carolina. And then there's also some hint of maybe some dreams that are impacting Blanche, and some things she needs to do for herself and her soul while she is in Maine. So, as was the same with the first book, Barbara Neely just is great at writing and grabbing you into the story. And I stopped because I have several other books I'm reading right now, and I'm putting this on my TBR for June. That's the plan, is to pick a book that will go on my TBR in June. So this is definitely the highest contender so far. I read 2 chapters of The Woman I Was Before by Carrie Fisher. This is from several different women's perspectives. I read a chapter on Kate, who is moving to this housing community in Surrey. And there's some kind of secret on why her and her daughter have had to move so often. And then the second chapter, they were really short chapters, was the perspective of Gisela, who lives a pretty busy life and has a college-age son, a teenage daughter, and a very busy business husband is constantly on the phone in the chapter. And they are moving in, both Kate and her daughter and Gisela are moving into the same area. Haven't found out too much about what's going on, but kind of enjoying it so far. The next one I sampled a chapter from is The Vibrant Years by Sonali Dev. This starts out with Bindu. She is the grandmother of these 3 women that we're gonna follow in this book. She was widowed at 39 and she had a son. The son got married soon after the father's death and moved his mother to the US to live with him, his wife, and their daughter. And then the son and the daughter-in-law get divorced, and Bindu is living with the daughter-in-law. And she somehow comes into a lot of money, Bindu does, in the first chapter, and goes with her friend to see this retirement community. And is kind of shunned by the other women there because they accept her friend in, who is a white American woman, and Bindu is Indian, and she's kind of shunned, but catches the attention of some of the men. I do like this so far. I like the writing. I have a book of Sonali Dev's on my TBR, my physical TBR, but I haven't read it yet. The one connection that I thought was funny and maybe intentional, probably intentional, is one of my favorite shows is The Golden Girls, and the retirement home that Bindu is looking at is called Shady Palms, and the retirement community in The Golden Girls, where Dorothy sends Sophia, is Shady Pines. Wondering if there's, if that's probably intentional. I am enjoying the writing style, and I could see enjoying this one as well. And the only one that I didn't even make it through the first chapter was The Writing Class by Jen C. Willett. This is an older book. This is from, I think it's 2008. So it's not like super old, but I just didn't really like the first chapter is by some creep in the class that our author is Amy is teaching, and then just kind of the way the writing style was, I just really didn't enjoy that. So this one I'm not going to read. The other three, I think they would probably be in this order if I were going to choose. So it would be Blanche Among the Talented 10th, The Vibrant Years, and then The Woman I Was Before. I just read a bit of the first chapter of Calling Invisible Women by Jean Ray. This is about a woman who is literally invisible one morning when she, after she gets out of the shower. I just wasn't drawn in by the writing at all and not interested in it. So this one is a no-go as well. Okay, I've read the first chapter of Mom and Dad by Joanna Trollope. This is the story of a husband and wife who moved to Spain from England to start a vineyard, a winery. And the first chapter kind of looks at the wife and her relationship with the husband. When they left, their kids were in school. Not in school, but they were, now I can't remember. They were a little bit older. They weren't living at home. So now the kids are are grown. They have kids of their own. There's grandchildren that they don't get to see that much because they live in Spain, and they don't go back to England, or the husband, the grandfather, doesn't go back to England. Kind of some of the family dynamics, and then some of the dynamics of the husband and wife with the local people. It was fine. I wasn't gripped by any of it. Yeah, so I probably will not read this one right now. I'm interested in Joanna Trollope as a writer. I've heard about her. Can't remember which book it was that I heard about her, but she's been involved with the Women's Prize for Fiction in the past, I think. And I saw her name come up, and I thought I would try one of her books. So writing was fine. I just wasn't gripped in by the story. And then I read the first chapter of The Secrets of Hartwood Hall by Katie Lumsden. I liked it. It's a Gothic mansion hidden that nobody goes to. It might be haunted. And we follow basically a rainy, muddy ride. What was her name? I've completely forgotten now. Mrs. Lennox. What was her first name? Can't remember. Margaret. Okay. This is the problem with doing tri-chapters all in a row, is all the names are kind of melding together. So Margaret Lennox is a widow, and she is going to be a governess for I think a 10-year-old boy who lives at Hartwood Hall with his widowed mother. And yeah, the ride there is horse and carriage, and because it's in the 1850s. And yeah, this is right up what I would like to read. I do like a good Gothic mystery. So yeah, we're gonna put this on the list or on the stack of wanting to read. The next one I sampled was Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Rayburn. The first chapter was a flight, an airline flight, and some people come on board that are being assassinated, and the flight crew is the assassins, and something goes wrong, and yeah, it was gripping, and I really liked it and definitely want to read more. I want to read more right now, but I can't because I'm in several books. So yeah, this one's gonna stay out too. And then I read a little bit of the first chapter of Ann Patchett's State of Wonder. I like Ann Patchett as a writer, and I was intrigued by, I didn't read the full first chapter. It was a very long chapter. This is about science and scientists and doctors and going to the Amazon, developing medicines. And while I was intrigued by it, it's not kind of what I'm looking to read right now. And I'm afraid to get a little slumpy. So I need to shake it up a little bit. And this is definitely more along the lines of literary fiction, and that's what I've been reading a lot of lately. So this is probably going to go back for now. So let's recap. The ones that are going back are Calling Invisible Women by Jean Ray, The Writing Class by Jency Willett, The State of Wonder by Ann Patchett, and Mom and Dad by Joanna Trollope. So those four are definitely going back to the library unread. And then the ones that are definitely staying out for a little bit, doesn't mean I'm going to read them all. And I'll tell you more about that when I come to you with my June reading plans. But these are going to stay out as possibilities to get to in June. And let me put them in the order I think I would be interested in them. So just based on what I read, they're all different sizes, so this might be a little bit difficult. So in order, let's go from least most interested in to most interested in. Does that make sense? Let me see if I can do this for myself. So least most interested in is The Woman I Was Before by Carrie Fisher. Then we have The Vibrant Years by Sonali Dev, which I did find on audiobook as well on, I think it was Everand. So this could also, I could listen to an audiobook on that one. The Secrets of Hartwood Hall by Katie Lumsden. Adding syllables to words, right? And then Blanche Among the Talented Tenth by Barbara Neely. And then the one I'm most interested in is Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Rayburn. I think I'm just in the mood for a little bit of a mystery. So yeah, this would be, like I said, they're all different sizes, but this would kind of be the stack I would probably, in order of most interested to least interested. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me and listening to my try chapter. Let me know, are you interested in any of these books? Have you read any of these books? Can you give me any recommendations? Yeah, and I hope to get some of these read in June. Like I said, I'll be coming out with my June reading plans very soon. And I hope you all are having a great end of May reading time. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye.